think.
I thought we were going to do a dance.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I didn't warn you.
Yeah, 4.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to click on this and see if it
Let's test it.
looks
Oh,
normal.
cute. Yeah, boy, I think you really do love me. Rub it on my foot like that. All right, let's
There's
see.
tiny babies, but it looks like 2 lines.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, there's little babies. So maybe
Okay.
it's in the right place. Let's see how it sounds.
I watched 2 more YouTube videos about this thing.
How many?
2. I've tripled my...
I literally thought you said 202, and I was like, Emily, what did you do this weekend?
Gone off the deep end.
I was very worried.
All I
I
did
was
was
like-
consume the same YouTube video
I
over and over.
was like, you don't have to work that hard.
No, I did nothing for work this weekend.
Thank God.
I watched 2 YouTube videos about this thing, and so I clicked new buttons on it, so we might need to readjust the dials, but I think I kind of know what some
You
things
did.
do
Oh.
now.
I can
'Cause
hear
it's-
myself very well in this one ear.
Interesting.
Let me see what that does, because maybe if you talk, I can hear you in this one ear.
I can only hear you in one ear as well.
Okay, so but let's see if what it does is it makes me hear you in the other ear.
Oh, because I think
know what I
that's this button, the direct monitor.
Uh-huh.
I made it, apparently what that does is it makes it so that you hear exactly what you're recording. So because we're recording 2 separate tracks, that would make sense that that's probably what that button has done.
So the only thing
Is that's
that
weird.
that makes me worry about is then when people are listening with one headphone, are they only going to hear one voice?
No, because I combine them when I record.
You're in this ear!
Weird. How do you feel about it?
I like
Is
it.
it fine?
It's cool.
Because then we can know it. Like if something's buzzing, we'll know who it is.
I like it a lot. What do you think? Is it weird?
It's kind of weird, but I think
Just we're not used to it.
get used to it.
It's kind of cool. I can't tell if it's just me or this looks a little crooked. No, I don't want it right there.
That looks like a better blob. Okay.
How's your blob?
My blob is good.
I'm not talking into the microphone. I can still hear myself really well. What'd you do? What'd
I don't
you do? Hold on. I think I'm just hearing the air conditioner.
That would make sense.
Right?
Yeah.
I would break her. Edward.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to this chapter yet in my notes, but I'm just going to write Edward.
Thank you. Carlisle, certainly. He would not fight anyone, but he would be wholly against Rose's and Jasper's designs. That might be all I needed. Esme, doubtful. She would not side against me, either, and she would hate to disagree with Carlisle, but she would be for any plan that kept her family intact. Why is it so hard to read out loud?
Just
The
breathe.
pressure.
You can do it. You're doing great.
Her first priority would not be what was right. Thank you. Been too long. We've waited more than 1 week. Carlisle, certainly. He would not fight anyone, but he would be wholly against Rose's and Jasper's designs. That might be all I needed. Esme, doubtful. She would not side against me either, and she would hate to disagree with Carlisle, but she would be for any plan that kept her family intact. Her first priority would not be what was right, but me. If Carlisle was the soul of our family, then Esme was the heart. He gave us a leader who deserved following. She made that following into an act of love. We all loved each other, even under the fury I felt towards Jasper and Rose right now, even planning to fight them to save the girl. I knew that I loved them. Did it.
You did great. Esme. Edward.
These guys.
You guys.
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 How?
Hi.
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 Everybody.
Hi.
What's up?
I'm Emily.
I am Marin.
And you're listening to
Remember
Twilight.
Your favorite podcast.
Of all time.
Mine, anyway.
Certainly.
We are today doing an episode from Midnight Sun, Chapter 4.
Visions.
God, I love this book. What happened last time?
Well, last time Edward was the penguin, you guys know, sliding across the parking lot. There was the whole thing. Bella saw it all.
He slapped a fish.
He did. Also, he keeps trying to leave Bella, but he cannot.
I know we have a the girl count.
Mm-hmm.
I would love a count of how many times he's like, I am leaving and never coming back. And then literally the next sentence is, I went back.
I went back to school.
So funny. So yes, right now, chapter 4, very first sentence is I went back to school. He was like, literally the last line of the last chapter was, I memorized her face one last time. It was still set in lines of anger, the blood not yet faded from her cheeks. And then I turned and walked away from her. I went back to school. Like, Edward.
I mean, Alice is right. We'll get to it later.
Edward cannot stay away.
No way. But listen, I'm not going back for her. I'm going back because it's the most inconspicuous thing to do.
Okay, no, but actually leaving would be... But whatever. Leaving would be fine. Nobody would notice or care.
Literally no. Edward is even like, some people came back to school. Most of them just ditched though.
Oh my gosh, me? 100%. I would have made this a 2-day ordeal. I would have been like, I am far too traumatized to go back to school.
True.
I only am well enough to go to Denny's and have coffee and fries.
That's so true.
That's what I would have done for 2 days.
Same. Edward is struggling. What's new there?
Okay, but...
So help me if you...
Oh, hold on. Let's give her a minute. Maybe she'll just walk away.
She's
break
gonna
that
break it.
whole...
Meowfoy, you're too
The
fat.
whole tray is going to come down. I'm nervous.
Off.
You need to show these guys what you just did.
I just take the Febreze and I shake it at her. Meowfoy.
She hates a shake of a Febreze.
She can't stand
that shake
a
of a
Febreze.
Febreze is her nemesis. Okay, now let me tell you something that Stephanie Meyer did here.
Okay.
She gave us a gift. First of all, she gave us the gift of Midnight Sun. Thank you, Stephanie. We love you very much. And then she was like, I'm going to give these guys what they want, what they've been begging for, what they've been screaming at me for the past 15 years. And she had Edward say to all of us that he had to go find the girl again. Like a stalker. An obsessed stalker. An obsessed vampire stalker.
I honestly am like, Edward, have you been watching Buffy? Because this is very, like, Buffy speak.
It is. It's very Buffy speak, which makes me love Stephanie even more. I don't know if she's a Buffy fan, but probably not. But I don't know, but people have been saying, it's just a story about, like, a stalker, right?
Mm-hmm.
For years. And
Edward
Stephanie was
knows.
like, fine, have it.
He knows. He is aware. Edward cannot believe this school day is still continuing. It's still happening. Even more boring than it was before Bella came. Literally, he's seeing life in sepia.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go back to school because that's what people would think that I should do. So he does that. And then he was like, school is boring, nothing has color. And then he's like, okay, I should be doing this thing, but I don't want to. But then, Edward, what was the point of saying all that stuff to Bella if you're not going to follow through in this moment right now? It makes it pointless.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like imagining this thing he should do where, you know.
Do you want to role play?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be the teacher.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. First, before we start, let's say this is what Edward thinks in his head that he should be doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Because this is what Cullens do.
This is Carlisle's reaction.
Right.
Okay, the next one we'll read is actually Edward's reaction.
Yes, so
Okay.
Edward's fantasy.
Okay.
I'm surprised to see you in class, Edward. I heard you were involved in that awful accident this morning.
Yes, I was, Mr. Banner. But I was the lucky one. I didn't get hurt at all. I wish I could say the same for Tyler and Bella.
How are they?
I think Tyler is fine. Just some superficial scrapes from the windshield glass. Not sure about Bella, though. She might have a concussion. I heard she was pretty incoherent for a while, seeing things even. I know the doctors were worried.
End scene.
So that's how it should have gone. And that's what he says. That's how it should have gone.
Yes.
That's what I owed my family.
Yes.
And then what happens? Ready?
Yeah. I'm surprised to see you in class, Edward. I heard you were involved in that awful accident this morning.
I wasn't hurt.
Do you have any idea how Tyler Crowley and Bella Swan are? I heard there were some injuries.
I wouldn't know.
Right.
Edward!
That's so not the same.
No!
Not even close.
You gotta go with Carlisle's reaction.
Mhm.
When in doubt.
Carlisle it out. Is that not what you were gonna say?
I wish I could say yes, but it's not. It doesn't matter anymore what I was
Okay.
gonna say. That was perfect.
Awesome. Edward, he's like, "Ugh, it just seems so unchivalrous to talk bad about Bella behind her back. And I agree, Edward.
It is.
That's the correct response to be
Absolutely.
having. Especially because she hasn't ratted me out yet. Nor will she ever.
No. She never would.
They have the same conversation in Spanish.
I wish we could do that.
I was
but-
just gonna say, should we try?
No.
In Spanish, Emmett is like giving Edward some "what the crap are you doing" looks. And he's also thinking to Edward, you better come up with a good cover story because Rosalie wants to kill you.
And Edward's like, I don't care.
Mhm. But then he's also like, it's fine because I came up with the best cover story and no one could blame me for it because he's like, listen, had I not done anything and Bella got smooshed by that car, I definitely would have eaten her, number one, and number two, would have eaten probably more people.
Yeah. He would have just had to kill every single person in Forks.
And then Jasper was right there. Jasper's gonna get in on this also. So it's for the best that I did what I did because it was much less exposing than what could have happened.
He's right.
I think it's great, and I think he should have stuck with that.
Mm-hmm.
No one would doubt him for having that plan in place.
Except that Alice would have still seen.
That's true. But I mean, he could have made that one decision in that one instance.
Sure.
You know.
Yep.
But Edward is too embarrassed about it, so he's not going to tell people any of that.
Dang it.
Emmett continues his thought recap to Edward, though, and he says, watch out for Jasper.
Mhm.
He won't kill you, but he is going to kill Bella.
I want Jasper to stop wanting to kill Bella. It does happen in like 2 pages, but still, I don't want... It makes me so nervous.
Jasper is the most nervous vampire we know.
Yes! Is this... Okay. This is like new moon foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
That he's like, I'ma kill her. And Edward's like, I'ma kill you.
True.
That's what happens in that one scene.
I remember. Thank you.
Sorry. I'm sorry to bring it back up. I understand that it was traumatic.
Okay, next what happens is amazing because as Emmett's like, Jasper wants to kill Bella, Edward, it's like the Kill Bill thing. It's like, and everything turns red for him. And he's like he's just full of anger. And Emmett has to grab Edward on the shoulder and hold him in place so he doesn't try to do anything.
If he'd been pushing the chair under me would have collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
He would have broken the equipment.
The equipment would be damaged. Which is so funny. I just love the fact that, like, Emmett suggesting that someone may hurt Bella, Edward is just, like, full on ready to rumble.
I love it.
Emmett tells him to calm down, and he tries, but he's still full of rage. And so Emmett's like, Jasper, he's not going to do anything until we talk as a family, so you have until then to, like, persuade him or do whatever Edward type things you might need to do. And then he finishes and says, try not to make more of a spectacle of yourself.
Who, Edward?
You're in enough trouble as it is.
I apologize, Emmett. However, Edward simply cannot help himself.
Have you met Edward?
He is a spectacle among spectacles.
He really is.
He cannot help it.
Oh, Edward. Emmett finally lets him go because he's working on his because he's working on his deep breathing. And then he has to do, like, a quick classroom scan of, like, did anyone notice my Kill Bill moment? And he looks behind him, and there's some kids that are like...
They definitely noticed. But they were just like...
Those guys are weird. They're writing a note to each other. Did you see Emily and Edward?
It's me and Emily, and I'm just... My hand is on her arm, and I'm like...
There's a very intense look happening for you podcast listeners. Edward tells Emmett to bite him.
A really good joke, dude.
Super cute. And he's like, okay, I mean, I guess what Jasper wants to do does make sense. And I see why he would think that's what should happen. But it's Edward and it's Bella. So it's not. It's not gonna happen, Jasper.
Yeah, but how's
really
Jasper?
sorry.
He doesn't know because Alice hasn't told him that it's gonna be okay.
We'll get there.
Jasper will not believe it until it's confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Love makes you do the wacky, right?
The age-old saying, as they say.
And Edward's like, a fight? Was that where this was headed? Was I going to fight with my family over a human I barely knew?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
You are.
Love makes you do the wacky.
You love her. Yes, I would fight for her against my family. I shuddered. But listen, okay?
Okay.
Bella is only in this position because of Edward.
Whoops.
And he can't just make all these dumb choices and then let her suffer the consequences. And so then he starts to figure out who would be on his side, who's going to be on the Jasper side. And, you know, Edward, he could try to take on everybody by himself, but he cannot. So he's like, okay, Carlisle's going to be on my side for sure. And that's a strong contender. Like,
yeah.
None of these people are going to want to disappoint Carlisle.
No, they would have to leave the family before they could do that. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, that's too much. That's crossing the line.
Yeah. He's not sure about Esme, but he knows that she's going to do anything that keeps Edward with their family. So he has that in his favor.
When he says her first priority would not be what was right, but me, I was like, damn. That's the kind of loyalty I have to my people, where I will literally be a complete idiot just to stand up for my people. Esme's got that, like, strong mom vibes going on.
Oh, yeah. And we get this cute moment where Edward's like, even though I'm super mad that Rosalie and Jasper want to kill my new girlfriend, I still love them.
Aww.
So that's sweet. And he's so unsure about Alice because he doesn't know what visions she has seen about this night happening yet. And so he's certain that she's going to choose the winning side regardless of what she thinks about the situation.
I don't agree with that. And I know that Edward knows Alice way better than I do, but I think Alice is just as loyal to him as Esme is.
I think
Edward's
so too.
her best friend,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
I just can't imagine her choosing the winning side over Edward.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, good.
So Edward, he's going into this evening with the mentality of, I have to be the only person I can rely on in this battle between Collins versus Bella Swan.
Okay, Edward.
We love a two-choice situation here.
That's all he ever
on
has.
Twilight.
That's Edward's entire vibe.
Mm-hmm. And then he's like, well, okay, or
Oh my gosh.
I could just kidnap Bella.
What? Excuse me?
And I can't believe she would be anything other than terrified.
She'd be like, what is that? This is, thank you, what?
Literally, Edward, it's all about your presentation. You do not have to bag over the head during the middle of the night, put in trunk, and drive away.
It's this easy. Hey, Bella, do you want to go get dinner?
And Bella would be like,
Yes, I do.
yes.
Let me go put on my
Let
skirt.
me first make dinner for Charlie and then we can go. Yes, I must put on my khaki skirt. And then you have her at dinner and you're like, Bella, have you ever been to Europe? And she's like, no.
Only in my dreams.
And he's like, let's get out of the US of A. And she's like,
let me make 5 casseroles for Charlie first.
let me write 3 quick essays that are going to be due tomorrow. And then I'm yours.
And then he goes, I'll write them for you.
He's like, I have a file for
Literally,
that.
it would take nothing. In fact, she'd just suggest it.
Uh-huh.
You want to go to Europe, Edward Cullen?
She might.
She
Listen,
wouldn't.
Bella, she's so against things when people are in danger.
Mm.
But that wouldn't be the situation. She wouldn't know that her life is at stake. So if you just present it as a fun, romantic getaway weekend, she's gonna have no reservations about it.
Oh my gosh. Imagine 4 chapters in that scenario happening.
Would read. Do want.
But then where does he want? He wants to take her to maybe back to her mother.
He's
no!
just gonna drive her to
Worst.
Florida.
This is the worst possible outcome. Do not bring her back to Renee. Please.
Please don't. But also, do a cross-country road trip with Bella. She
Get
would
to
love
know
that.
each other outside of Forks.
Rent a Hummer with a hot tub and drive it across the country.
Oh my
Fun
heck.
times.
Love it.
Okay. Oh, hold on, wait. No, that's not gonna work either.
Dang it.
Because what if I kill her from
Um,
spending so much time around her smell?
is that how it works?
That's how anxiety works.
Mm.
You gotta think of every possible tiny problem.
Okay.
And he's going through all these problems so deeply that the class period flies by. The next thing he knows, the bell rings, so him and Emmett get up, walk to the car. Emmett is a concern about Edward and a concern about Rosalie, so they don't talk. And Edward says this. He knew he would have no choice when it came time to pick sides, and it bothered him. I don't feel like that's a great relationship, Emmett. If you always have to side with Rosalie, even if you don't want to, that
Damn.
seems not...
Emily coming in
great.
hot.
I mean, I know you should, like, stick up for your person, but if it's, like, really not what you feel is right, you have to be able to say something.
Okay, now I'm just trying to, like, imagine that I'm in a situation where my partner, who I've promised to, like, hang out with for the rest of my life, is like, so we have to kill your brother's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, Yeah, no, Mark. Absolutely
They
not.
probably could just not kill someone, though.
I would be like, no, that's not happening. And if you choose that side, I'm not going with you.
Right?
So I think.
I mean, I understand because once you, like, do something like that to Rosalie, you're, like, on her shit list for 20 years at least, even if you're Emmett. So I understand, like, the hesitation, but you should be able to tell Rosalie no, Emmett. She needs a little dose of not getting everything she wants all the time. Am I wrong?
You're right. I agree.
The Rosalie people are going to be so mad at me.
Okay, yes. You're going to get a bunch of emails about Rosalie being perfect and deserving constant devotion. That's fine. That's what Emmett gives her. Whatever. He's completely whipped. But it's... I agree.
Okay,
It's
good.
lame that he has to choose sides.
Ugh.
His brother, his girlfriend, or his wife, whatever. I don't know.
We got a message on Instagram from someone who was like, I like your podcast because of Twilight, but also because of your great relationship advice. And I had to reread it like 3 times, and I was like, what?
She showed it to me, and I go, that's a lot of responsibility.
I mean, I know we tell Bella, like, what to accept and not accept in her relationships, but never would I have considered that we give good relationship advice.
I feel like I have a pretty solid relationship with my partner, and we communicate very well with each other, so I don't know, but it scares me.
So funny. So thank you for coming back to relationship advice in Twilight with Marin and
Yes,
Emily.
thank you.
That's what we're here for. Okay, so when they get to the car, all the blings are inside. No one's saying anything. Rosalie, however, is yelling at Edward in her mind with, like, pretty lame memes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, she has to scream inside her heart because it's COVID. So she's just like, she couldn't think of, like, mean things to scream because she's trying to keep it all in.
Right. She doesn't get out her best insults here.
Idiot.
Lunatic.
Moron.
Jackass.
Selfish.
Irresponsible. Fool.
Okay.
It's fine. Edward just ignores her.
Aw.
And when they get in the car, Edward can tell Jasper is planning on killing Bella. He knows he's gonna do it.
Jasper is eyes forward, hair a wave, ready to kill.
Hair a wave?
Yes.
Cool. I like that's one of his, like, defining kill moment features.
You know it is. He
Hair
gets
a
real
wave.
serious and his hair just goes whoosh.
Now, okay, are we getting back to the can vampires control their hair situation?
I feel like I'm always there. I live there now.
Like, maybe it's just Jasper. Okay,
What
listen
about
to
Rosalie,
me.
though?
Well, hold on. So, Jasper can control your mood, right?
Right.
So, that must cause some kind of disturbance in the airwaves.
Okay.
And maybe he, like, just around his hair, he's like, he can make it stay still by, like, just emitting, like, sadness. But he just keeps it to the airwaves around his head, and so they don't move.
I love everything about this.
And then when he's, like, planning on killing someone, he puts, like, determination into the air around his hair, and then he gets that wave.
It starts to just beautifully, like there's a fan, but it's just him, like, I'ma kill you.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't even, like, realize that he's doing it. It's just, like, what's on his mind is, like, what his hair looks like.
Cool. Very cool. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. In the name of Jasper Hale.
Amen.
Yeehaw.
Oh. Yes.
Anyway. As they get into the car, Edward also notices that Alice is worried about Jasper and that she keeps, like, going through Jasper's kill visions or kill scenarios. And so Edward tunes into this channel because this is good information. And he sees that no one else is with Jasper. Rosalie's not helping him. Emmett's not helping him. So he knows that Jasper's not going to ask them for help. He's just going to go kill Bella by himself. And Edward's like, okay, I can handle Jasper, probably. He's way more experienced than I am, but I can read his mind. So maybe that'll even the fight. Okay, so Edward's dialed in, and like one vision goes through and he sees Jasper like almost kill Bella. And then Edward's like, okay, so I'm going to stop him when he gets to here.
Cut him off at the pass.
So then Alice goes through the vision again, and Edward's like, okay, I can cut him off here. And like
So
they just
cool.
keep going, and he just like keeps getting to Jasper earlier and earlier in his plan, and Alice is finally like, stop it, Edward.
This is honestly the coolest, like, so far, you know, out of the first 4 chapters, this is the coolest, like, Edward using his powers to do something really productive.
Yeah.
Things. It's very cool.
Definitely. I love getting to see Alice's visions through Edward.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the best parts of the book. She tells him, I'm not going to let this happen. And he's just like, yeah, okay. Keeps watching visions. No one talks the entire drive back to the house. Edward parks in the garage. Everybody's cars are there. Carlisle's home, and he's like, great. Love it when Carlisle is here because we're heading to the dining room and we are sitting down at the family fight table.
They're gonna have a family fight. Oh, I wish I could be a Cullen just for the family fights.
Right?
I love
drama.
the family fights so much.
They go, they sit down. Edward mentions that Carlisle likes to use this as a conference room.
It's like Arthur's round table.
Yeah. Conference room equals family fight table. Like, Carlisle, you can try to make it seem more
Diplomatic.
yeah, but no.
They're just fighting.
They're fighting. That's where you go for your family fights. Carlisle sits down. He's at the eastern head of the room. Thank you, Edward.
He's the closest to Seattle.
He does. He sits on the Seattle-facing side of the table. Esme sits next to him. They're holding hands. Esme just stares at Edward when he walks in and thinks to him, stay.
Oh.
And he's like, he knows that she doesn't know what this family fight is going to be about, but all she cares about is that Edward doesn't leave again because it makes her too sad.
Me too.
Edward sits down on Carlisle's other side of the table, and he knows that Carlisle probably has an idea about what this fight is going to be about. And Carlisle's forehead was creased.
That must be so difficult.
Think of how many family fights Carlisle has had to sit through before he got a forehead wrinkle.
Well, he had to sit through all of these Cullen family fights, but think of all the, like, Volturi family fights he had to sit through, too.
You know that Aro has a much bigger family fight table than the Cullens do.
He doesn't even let them sit at the table, though. They all have to stand.
A standing fight table. I mean, seriously, a creased forehead on a vampire is a very significant object of symbolism to me.
Really good, really good.
Rosalie takes a seat on the push side of the table.
That's true. She's on the western side.
She glares at Edward, and she doesn't stop glaring at Edward. Emmett sits by Rosalie, still not pleased about this. Jasper goes and stands behind Rosalie against the wall. He's not even here for a fight. He is mind made up, hair curled.
No, him not even sitting at the table is BDE.
It is.
Is like, nope, goodbye. I'm gonna go stand against the wall back here. It makes me so nervous.
Like, you don't even want to talk about this? Are you sure?
You're just gonna stand
You're just
back there?
gonna be over
There?
Okay.
Oh,
was the last to come in, and I suspect that it's because she had to go and change into a family fight outfit. She has like a section of her closet that are like, these are my badass clothes, and so she has to go to put on her like tight leather shirt for this because she knows it's gonna go down.
You do have to do this. You have to show up with your power suit on.
Dress for the job you want.
Exactly.
And she wants to be with Bella forever.
No, this is exactly right. When I was dealing with my mom and all her stuff a few weeks ago, I made sure that every appointment I went to, I was dressed up.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So Alice comes in looking phenomenal. And she sits down next to Esme. She rubbed her forehead as if she had a headache.
Too many. Everybody stop planning things.
She's just ironing out her wrinkle spot to make sure it doesn't set in like Carlisle's.
I do it all the time.
Jasper almost goes to sit by Alice, but he stays in the corner behind Rosalie. And so Edward begins the family fight. With an I'm sorry.
That's brave of him.
I mean, very vulnerable, Edward.
Very. He put himself right out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say I'm sorry. I say thank you. You know what I mean?
Thank you for not killing Bella yet. I would like to discuss with you why I love her.
Exactly.
He says, I am sorry. I didn't mean to get you guys involved in my one-way love street. I'm going to take full responsibility for my actions. And Rosalie's like, do you mean that you are going to kill Bella? And Edward's like, no, I'm going to leave.
Oh, no.
I was already going to leave like 28 other times in the past 2 days.
Oh, Edward.
But I'm definitely going to go now.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And then he thinks to himself, as long as I know none of you guys are going to go kill Bella the second I leave.
Right.
Esme is not on board with this. Edward tells her it's just a few years. Emmett's like, no, you can't leave because we have to know what everyone's thinking. And Edward's like, well, Alice will catch anything if it's super major. And then Carlisle, a shake of the head.
Wow.
I think Emmett is right. The girl will be more likely to talk if you disappear. Either all of us go or none of us go. And Edward's like, Carlisle, you haven't nearly concussed Bella like I've nearly concussed Bella. She's not going to say anything. And he's like, I know that Bella won't tattle. Alice, back me up.
Oh, no.
And Alice is like, I don't know what's going to happen if we just don't do anything. Glares at Rosalie, glares at Jasper. If you guys would stop plotting, maybe I could see something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really such a good point, though, Alice. I have a lot to say about Alice at the end of the chapter. I'm going to wait till then because I wrote a little 3-question essay prompt.
Perfect.
But I wish that she would just be like, you guys, just for like 10 minutes decide to just ignore it and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Because I agree with Edward that Bella's not going to say anything. I mean, he doesn't know it, but Alice would be able to see that.
Yeah. I mean, at least for the next, like, 2 weeks, or, like, what would happen in the couple days after Edward decides to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rosalie gets that manicured handout and thwomps it right onto the family fight table.
She is going to break that equipment.
All the equipment will need to be replaced. She does a gentle but firm hand smack because this fight is not going as well as she hoped.
No.
And she says, we can't allow the human a chance to say anything. Carlisle, you must see this. Even if we all decide to disappear, it's not safe to leave stories behind us. And then she's like, we are the weird vampires, so we have to be extra careful, Carlisle. And Edward's like, well, Rosalie, we've left rumors behind before. And she's like, well, maybe rumors, but not eyewitnesses. And not evidence. And Edward's like, evidence?
None.
0.
Please.
I got that dent out.
And so did Emmett.
It's
We took care of it.
It's done, Rosalie.
And there's only one eyewitness, and she's not going to say anything.
Nope. But Jasper agrees with Rosalie. Carlisle starts to try to interrupt Rosalie. And she's not allowing that.
And this is where Rosalie gets very scary.
She's quite on a roll
I
here.
don't like it. It's so scary.
She says, "It doesn't have to be any big production. The girl hit her head today, so maybe that injury turns out to be more serious than it looked." Shrug. "Every mortal goes to sleep with the chance of never waking up. The others would expect us to clean up after ourselves. Technically, that would make it Edward's job. But this is obviously beyond him. You know I'm capable of control. I would leave no evidence behind me."
Holy shit, Rosalie. Did you ever suspect that Rosalie wanted to kill Bella so much?
I mean,
I knew she didn't like her, but good grief.
she's like ready to go smother this girl in her sleep.
And Edward just keeps that. I mean, of course he's not going to tell Bella, but still, it's like, how does he even live with Rosalie after this?
It's wild.
I could not. It's so crazy.
If you come up with like this far of a detailed plan to kill somebody that I like, I'm just like,
yeah.
we might be family, but we're family that is not going to be at the same holiday parties anymore. Yeah. Line drawn.
Like,
if you want to apologize to me next year, we can reevaluate. But right now,
it's like
no.
Almost the same as when you find out that somebody you love voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
I see
how
now
could you?
that we cannot continue our working relationship. Edward gets a little snarky with Rosalie and says, "We know how proficient an assassin you are."
I mean, that's not a insult though.
No.
Edward, she's super cool.
Imagine a Rosalie assassin show.
Dude,
It's
I
like,
would watch every moment of that. She's
right?
James Bond.
Yes.
Oh
It's
my
kind of like what Edward did, but minus the juggling. And she just goes and kills, like, rapists
Yeah.
and domestic abusers.
Oh my gosh, Rosalie.
Think of her outfit. Okay, let's stop. That's great.
We need to do an entire episode on Rosalie as James Bondish.
She would be amazing. Anyway, okay. Carlisle then gets in the middle of this and says, "Rosalie, I looked the other way because I felt that you were owed your justice. The men you killed wronged you monstrously.
Yes, they did.
This is different. Bella is completely innocent."
Yes, she is.
And Rosalie's like, "It's not personal. It's for protection."
Interesting.
And so Carlisle chooses his words very carefully.
Okay, wait a minute. I wrote the words. Carlisle might be the only smart one there.
He does often carry the one family brain cell.
Okay.
Yes, that is a understood thing in the fandom.
Yeah, what he says next is like the only smart thing anybody has said so far.
And he tells her, "I understand where you're coming from, but if we just go and kill every innocent person who accidentally sees us do something, why should we even protect ourselves at all?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand we'll have slip-ups because we're vampires. That's part of our nature. But if we just go around killing people that haven't done anything wrong just because, and we, like, decide to do that, then we risk losing the essence of who we are." And so Edward tries really hard not to gloat.
He tries really hard not to clap, too.
Uh-huh.
But you know what I'm going to do right now?
Great speech, Carlisle.
Carlisle Cullen, give it up, everybody, for the doctor. That was perfect.
Yep. Rosalie's like, "It's what would be responsible," and Carlisle's like, "Nope, every life is precious." Rosalie sighs and pouts, and so Emmett consoles her and tells her it'll be fine. And Carlisle's like, "We're not here to discuss killing Bella or not killing Bella. What we need to decide is if we are going to leave or if we're going to stay. And then Rosalie's like, well, I don't want to restart sophomore year again.
So don't.
And Carlisle's like, you can stay the same age. And she's like, but then we just have to leave earlier. And I'm like, who is the dumb one who made up this stupid rule about you have to be in school?
High school students every time. I love it though. I want to go to school over and over and over again. I do, just to make different.
if okay, Carlisle. Okay, all of it's because Carlisle wants to go be at the hospital. You say, my wife Esme is doing a foreign exchange program. We have these 4 people from Europe living with us. She's going to homeschool them and give them the American experience, so you guys won't see them here because they go and do stuff.
We're world schooling them.
Yes.
You guys ever heard of world schooling? I want to do it. If I didn't have to work for a living, I would world school my children. Mm-hmm. We would just go around and do things and learn by living in the world.
Carlisle. I just want to sit him down and give him some tips.
He's very serious about putting on a good show.
He needs to tell those nurses all about Edward's Spanish lessons. Rosalie loves forks.
I like it here. There's so little sun. We almost get to be normal. That's my Rosalie voice.
Yes. Carla's like, well, listen, everybody. We can all, I guess not sleep on it, but like just wait a while and see what happens, because Edward seems pretty sure about Bella.
Edward seems certain of the Swan Girl's silence, which is such a funny way to put it.
And Edward's feeling good about this whole conversation that just happened because he knows Rosalie isn't going to do something like blatantly against what Carlisle has said
Absolutely.
The family's going to do. And so he is now just still worried about Jasper.
Me too. Still standing back there with his arms crossed.
And his cowboy boots on.
His hair is waving. I don't like
Wave
it.
of a hair. And we get, Edward reminds us that Jasper lived through war and he knows what'll happen if they get caught being vampires in public. And he also notices that Jasper isn't mood influencing Rosalie in any way. And so he's not trying to get her on his side still. He still is just a one-man, kill Bella, get out plan. So Edward calls him out and he says, Jasper. And Jasper looks at him and he says, she won't pay for my mistake. I won't allow that. And Jasper's like, well then, why should she benefit from it? She should have died today. I would just be setting it right.
Oh.
And then Edward gets out his big boy voice and he says, I will not allow it. This takes Jasper by surprise, though. Such surprise that his eyebrows become surprised. Because Jasper never would have thought that Edward would, like, really stand up and stand in his way.
Yeah.
And so Jasper's like, listen, I'm not going to let Alice live in danger. And you don't know how I feel about her. You don't feel about her. Nope. You don't feel... it's literally written down.
You don't feel about anyone the way I feel about her, Edward.
Yeah. Because you haven't lived through what I've lived through. You haven't lived through what I've lived through. Even if you see my memories, you don't understand. And Edward's like, that's fine, but you're not going to hurt Bella. And then they just stare at each other. Then we get Alice. She takes off her jacket.
She has to. You know she does. She stands up and she unbuttons and takes it off and then folds it and puts it on the back of the chair and then starts.
And, yep. And she goes, Jazz. And he keeps glaring at Edward for a second and looks over at her. And he's like, don't tell me that you can protect yourself. I already know, but it's not going to happen. And Alice is like, no. I just, I need a quick fave. And then Edward reads what she's about to say in her mind, and his mouth pops open.
Mouth open, gasp in. I'm surprised he didn't just stand up and run away right at that second that he saw this vision.
Honestly. Alice goes, I know you love me, thanks, but I would really appreciate it if you didn't try to kill Bella. First of all, Edward, madly in love. You guys shouldn't fight over it. Secondly, we're best friends. Well, not yet, but we will be. And Edward sees a vision in Alice's mind.
This is the most beautiful vision.
Alice has her arm around Bella, and Bella is there smiling, arm around Alice. And he says that it is clear as glass.
It's rock solid.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
She doesn't know when it's going to happen, but she knows for sure her and Bella are besties. And then Jasper's just like, oh, okay. Edward's obsessed with the vision, can't stop thinking about it. And Alice is like, I'm going to love her someday, Jazz. I will be very put out with you if you don't let her be.
Oh, Alice coming in.
Yep. And so Alice saying this to Jasper makes Jasper, for a second, decide to not go kill Bella. And that allows some new visions to come through to Alice.
Beautiful. That's all we needed. You guys chill out for a minute so Alice can see.
Yep. And so she's like, see, Bella's not going to say anything. We have nothing to worry about. And then it's the fact that Alice said the word Bella out loud that just brings Edward's world crumbling down.
Oh, no. She said Bella. She didn't say the girl.
Nope.
Because
Bella's important to Alice. Mm-hmm. And he's like, Alice, what does this mean? And she's like, I told you, Edward. I don't know, but I know that something's happening. And so she tries to hold back this other vision that she has because she doesn't want Edward to see it because she knows he's going to have a panic attack at the family fight, and that's always embarrassing. And so he's like, what are you hiding from me? And Emmett is getting so annoyed at them. He's like, is it about the girl? Is it about Bella? And as soon as he says Bella, she slips. These guys, just the word Bella is their kryptonite in their being, in their very soul.
It truly is.
And this tiny little vision slips right through. Edward literally jumps to his feet.
Oh, I can't even, no! It's one of those, movie moments from above. He's down. He's, hands up.
No. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So Carlisle has to jump up, too. Put a hand on Edward's shoulder. And Alice is like, yeah, about that vision. It definitely is getting clearer by the second. Every minute that passes by, you become more decided. There are only 2 ways left for her, as we do around these parts. One or the other, Edward. And he's like, no. Nope. And Emmett is so annoyed with them.
I love Emmett. That is so annoying.
Yep.
Stop it.
He's right. He tells Alice that he has to leave. Emmett's like, we already went over that, Edward. You have to stay and deal with this. And Alice is like, yeah, Edward, you're not going anywhere.
She says, I don't know if you can leave anymore.
Yeah. She's like, go ahead and try. try to think about
it.
leaving Edward. And so he thinks about trying to think, and then he's like, no, I can never. It's too painful. I can't do that.
Oh no, Edward Cullen.
And then Alice says the words that, well, she thinks the thoughts to Edward that she knows is going to make him stay for sure, which is, I don't know about Jasper, Edward. If you leave, he might decide to just kill her anyway. And Edward's like, fine, I'll stay. Why are you doing this to me? He groans, sits back down, throws his head in his hands. I was not Bella's protector. I could not be that.
Oh no.
And then Alice thinks, I love her too, or I will. It's not the same, but I want her around for that. And he goes, love her too?
Yes, Edward. Open up your heart, sweetheart. You know it's in there way deep down.
Can't you see where you're headed? Can't you see where you already are? It's more inevitable than the sun rising tomorrow morning. See what I see.
Edward's like, no, I don't have to follow that course. I'll leave. I will change the future. But Edward, she's so pretty as a vampire.
Yeah.
Look at her.
She's like, you can try. Emmett is frustration level 100. Oh, come on!
He literally bellows.
He is a bellow. Rosalie's like, Emmett, if you would just listen to what they're saying. Alice sees him falling for a human. How classically Edward.
Imagine Rosalie making that sound.
It would be the most beautiful vomiting you've ever heard.
Her little perfect pink tongue. It probably comes out in a perfect point. And then her teeth are gorgeous.
Yep.
And she just like,
she
her
doesn't
lips
even
go,
get a double chin when she does it.
That's not fair. She's perfect.
Emmett is like, what? Laughs so hard. Is that what's been going on? Tough break, Edward. And then Esme's like, fall for a human?
Oh.
For the girl he saved, fall in love with her?
Oh no.
And then Jasper's like, Alice, what exactly did you see? And she's like, well, it depends on whether or not Edward kills her or not. If she kills her, I'm going to be really mad. And also, Edward, you'll be depressed for the rest of your life. Or Bella is going to be a vampire. Edward starts shouting, that's not going to happen. Either one.
Edward.
And Alice is like, well, yeah, it depends. You might be strong enough to not kill her, but it's going to be so close. It'll take an amazing amount of control, more even than Carlisle has. The only thing he's not strong enough to do is stay away from her. That is a lost cause.
There it is, right there.
Yep.
Whoop.
I stared at Alice and everyone else stared at me.
I can see, he goes, I can see my own horrified expression from 5 different viewpoints. No, thank you. Can you imagine seeing your own face all day long through everybody else's eyes?
No.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't want anything
if I looked
about
like
that.
Edward, then
Maybe, but
it's fine.
Man, that just sounds terrible.
Yep. A long time goes by until Carlisle gives a sigh and says, well, this does complicate things. And Emmett's like, yeah, I'd say. Trust Emmett to find the joke in the destruction of my life.
I wrote oh man, but I didn't write an H, I just wrote OMAN.
Oh,
all
man.
one word. Oh man.
Oh man. Carlisle's like, okay, drama babies. We still need to decide on whether we're leaving or staying. I guess we'll stay and watch. Nobody's gonna go kill Bella. Alright? And Jasper's like, I mean, if Alice says so.
I love that. That's what I was mentioning earlier when I was like, Jasper, the only reason he's like still on this path is because Alice hasn't told him what to do. Alice hasn't been very clear about, nope, I actually see a different outcome and it's very, very good. And I like it very much.
Yep.
So you may not hurt her.
Yes.
She's a sweet baby angel, and I will protect her.
Yep.
And Jasper's like, okay. He just loves her. He trusts her. I love that relationship.
Me too. Edward shouts no a couple more times.
I know.
He isn't sure if it's a growl or a cry of despair.
In some combination.
It's like, I have to leave. I have to get away from all of these people.
Oh, I know.
With all their feelings
Honestly.
and emotions.
Alice's confidence, Jasper's confidence in that confidence, Esme's joy. How very dare they want you to be happy, Edward.
He leaves. He walks right out of the room.
Rude.
And then he runs. And
Of course he does.
He cleared the lawn and river in one bound.
Stephanie will not tell us how fast he can run.
Think of the power in that one leg for the liftoff to clear the lawn and river.
The one leg. I hope he was wearing stretchy jeans.
I think Alice must supply them with only stretchy clothing,
She
right?
knows.
Just in case Edward has to run off about something.
You know he has to.
It's raining. Edward gets super wet, super fast, runs to Seattle almost. He stops before he gets to the people. And he sits there in the rain. And he finally made myself look at what I had done. All the ways I had mutilated the future.
Oh my goodness. I love
Edward.
you, Edward.
He's like, that first vision with Alice and Bella as a human looking all happy. And Bella was not confused. She definitely had a knowing look in her eyes. What does she know? Who told her? Or there's that other vision where they're just both vampires hanging out together. Bella's eyes red as the dawn. He hates this.
I don't know why. I mean, I do. I just don't agree with him.
Yeah. Just turn her into a vampire. What did this mean? How had it come about? And what does Bella think of me now?
Oh,
He's like,
honey.
I know the answer to the last one. If I forced her into this empty half-life through my weakness and selfishness, surely she would hate me.
Edward!
Ash wrote, LOL. And then he's like, well, hold on, there's one more option. It's more horrifying than any of the others because it's my red eyes, red as the dawn, and Bella's just dead in my arms, broken, lifeless, drained.
Yeah.
And he cannot stand this.
Nope.
He tries to not think it. He wants to get the pretty Bella face that he wants the ghost of the past back in his line of sight, but it will not come. He cannot find it. All he sees are these visions. Meanwhile, the monster in me was overflowing with glee. It sickened me.
Oh no.
And he's like, this can't be what happens. I cannot let what Alice thinks make choices for me. I have to choose a different path. There was always a choice. There had to be.
Yeah. Okay, Edward, there is always a choice. You could just tell her a million times, we shouldn't be friends. But then never actually let her not be your friend.
Yeah, that's one path he does
That's
try a
literally
lot.
the one
That's
he
his
does.
favorite go-to.
Okay, I have 3 questions.
Okay.
Let's discuss these
Perfect.
essay questions. Number 1. Did Alice have such clear Bella visions because it was actually Alice who made the decision?
That would be very impressive if she was just like, Bella's my best friend. I know Edward loves her. He's obsessed with her. He obviously is stupid. So I'm just going to make the choice to go befriend Bella.
I mean, honestly, I'm like, Edward hasn't made any decisions yet. Alice! I think Alice is orchestrating this entire thing. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead, keep going.
So the 2 visions that she has are both true. First, it's Bella and Alice being friends because she befriends her while she's still human, and then the second vision is after Alice, has changed Bella into a vampire.
Yes. Right? Okay, and so then I said, and if so, too, is Alice doing this because she wants Edward to be happy, or because she saw Bella in her life the same way that she saw Jasper? Do you remember how she knew Jasper was coming? She knew that was going to happen. So did she see Bella Swan becoming her best friend and think to herself, this would also be good for Edward, and he's already freaking out about her, so I may as well just make it happen.
That's so interesting, and I almost wonder, because I don't remember where in the book it happens, but it was one of the quotes that Stephanie put on her website about how Alice saw her and Bella being friends before she even met Bella. I wonder if it goes back that far to those first visions of the Cullens, and she just always knew that this other girl would show up eventually.
Right, and that it's going to drive Edward crazy, and she's just going to make it happen. And then I wrote, number 3, is Edward just a convenient way to get Bella in the family? And then I just wrote Alice really big with like question marks and exclamation points, because I'm like, okay, I feel like that's kind of what's happening. Like, it's convenient that Edward also was obsessed with her.
Right.
But no matter what Edward ever chose or ever was involved in it in any way, it was going to happen because Alice wanted it and knew it was going to happen. Right. Alice foresaw it. Alice showed those visions to Edward to make him realize that it doesn't matter what he does, Bella's going to be part of the family. He may as well just give in. He's already like crazy about her. He already loves her scent. He already thinks she's beautiful. He's already falling in love with her. Alice is smart enough to know that. And so she's like, this is the time.
That is so interesting. I love to think that Alice always knew that Bella would be in her life.
Me
and
too.
It was just a surprise to her that Edward fell in love with her.
I do too.
And that was like not something she had foreseen because she couldn't until Edward met Bella.
I wrote those questions down last night after you and I had like hung out. And I was like, I cannot wait to talk to Emily about these questions because I've never thought about it before, but it just feels like Alice is kind of orchestrating this entire thing.
It totally does. Also, we already know that a Jasper type of power is perfect for a girl like Bella. Like, I just love... I really love the idea that had Edward not fallen in love with Bella, she would have been scooped up by just Alice and Jasper, and they would have taken care of her, made sure she was good, changed her when she wanted to be.
Yeah. I love it.
I love it.
It felt very good to me to be like putting my teacher hat on and being like, I'm going to write some essay questions for this week's book club because these really feel good to me. And so I would, dear listener, love to hear what you guys think about this thing that I just had pop into my head. It just feels really good. It feels like Alice loves Bella, wants Bella, is going to do whatever it takes. It's just convenient that Edward also loves Bella.
Right.
So
it definitely makes me feel really good that Bella would have ended up as a vampire no matter what. But it also makes me really mad that Alice didn't just take over during New Moon.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that would actually... But she's the one who comes back.
Eventually she does. And I mean, that's not a long time in vampire time.
It's not. It's only a few months, but it was enough for Bella's entire life to change, which is really kind of a disaster. But it's like I've said a million times, like that change that Bella learns to accept really helps her to become the stronger vampire in the future. Yeah. So maybe Alice also saw that.
Maybe.
That she was like, she'll be stronger, even though it's the worst thing she's ever going to have to go through. I don't know. I mean, I don't see Alice being that mean, but I also see Alice being that smart.
Right.
And wanting Bella to grow and learn. Oh, man.
Well, and even if they all leave, she's still going to have those solid visions because she knows it's not Edward who's making this happen.
It's me.
Like, her visions remain regardless of whether Edward makes them leave or not. And so she's just like,
right?
I'm gonna wait a little bit to see if Edward comes around so I don't have to start like the biggest family fight of me going back and just changing Bella myself, because Edward would not be pleased.
The biggest family fight. Oh man. Anyway,
love it.
I love it too. Felt good.
Heck yeah.
Alright, cool.
Amazing.
Well, thank you everybody for remembering Midnight Sun with us.
Yeah, again.
Do you remember it?
I do remember.
Oh my gosh. You guys are literally the best human beings.
You honestly are. I am blown away every day by how awesome you guys are.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep. Doing this podcast is pretty much the one thing in my life that is joyful. Besides, like just hanging out with my family in the evenings.
Right.
So I love it. Thank you so much.
Yep.
And have a great week. And remember, definitely hijack your brother's life so that you can get a best friend.
Heck yeah, man. We'll see you guys next week.
Okay, love you guys.
Bye.
Bye. I did a really high bye that time.
Bye.
Hi.
Bye.